Hey everybody, welcome back to 3 Minute Ag. This is part 2 of our field trip down to the Winfield Answer Plot. We're still coming for more answers for you. I'm meeting today with Eric. He's the rep for Western Kansas. Don't hold that against him. He's still a pretty smart guy. He wants to talk to us a little bit about iron chlorosis.
To iron chlorosis, we really need to make sure that we're looking at this as a systems approach. So number one, we need to make sure that we're looking at selecting varieties that have good IDC scores, but then beyond that, we can't stop there. One of the most effective ways to treat iron chlorosis in some of our high pH areas is by using an in-furrow iron fertilizer. If we look at using just a foliar treatment alone, a lot of times our soybeans aren't big enough to really make that foliar treatment effective. But if we can get them out of the ground and growing well by using an in-furrow EDDHA ortho chelation on our iron in-furrow, then by the time we get them out of the ground, we've got enough foliar mass out there to be able to make a foliar application work.
Okay. So let's say that we did everything right. We picked the right variety. We ran some iron in furrow. We are still seeing some chlorosis now because of the tough conditions we're having. What is something we can do now?
So now, anything that we can do to spur growth on these soybeans are going to be beneficial. So for one, making sure that we've got adequate fertility out there, making sure we don't have any deficiencies in anything outside of the iron. If you look at iron as a foliar treatment, a lot of times we'll go out there and we'll make an application. It'll green those soybeans up, but then in a week later they'll turn yellow again. And a lot of times we have to hit them that second application about a week later so that we can actually get enough growth on those soybeans to get enough root development to outgrow some of that iron chlorosis.
Is there something we can do to promote root development at this point, or are we kind of just waiting it out?
So other things that promote root development, again, comes down to plant health. So sometimes, biostimulants or plant growth regulators can be a benefit, even as a foliar application to drive more root development. But again, making sure that we have started out with a good fertility program, good stand establishment, and good management practices ahead of time puts us way ahead of the game.
So this is really something, if you're gonna take beans to a tough environment, you probably want to get together with your agronomist, you want to get together with your country partners rep, maybe get together with you Winfield guys and start this planning early. I mean, we need to do this when the snow's flying, right?
Absolutely.
Figure out like what we need for varieties, what we're going to run in furrow, some different biologicals and that sort of thing.
You bet. The ground doesn't change from year to year. We all know those fields that we know we're going to have to fight this issue in. Putting a plan together ahead of time will save you a ton of headache and money down the road.
Okay, that sounds good. And like you said, at this point, if we go out and we're spraying over the top, we're mostly spraying dirt, but that may be, if it's a rescue treatment, that may be just something we have to do.
Yeah, at this point in time, it's really about, making sure we keep those soybeans growing, because the longer that those soybeans stay stunted because of the iron chlorosis, the longer it's going to take for those soybeans to get to canopy.
If I'm going over the top as a rescue treatment right now, can I run that with a chemistry, or is that a standalone trip?
So typically I want to run iron all by itself. Iron has some issues where it does not play well with a lot of other things. So iron will antagonize glyphosate. Iron does not mix well with some other fertilizers as well, so you have to be a little bit careful on that. And then we also have to make sure that we're setting up that sprayer to be effective with iron. So if we're going out there with a dicamba application with the dicamba approved ultra coarse nozzles, those big droplets are not very conducive to making iron work very good. Foliar iron really needs to be in a medium to fine droplet with high gallons of water per acre to where we get the best coverage possible, because that foliar iron is not going to move within that plant.
Okay, that makes sense. And if we're going to make this extra trip anyway, we want to get our biggest bang for the buck out of it.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else you want to say about iron chlorosis, or did that pretty well cover it?
I think that pretty well covers it.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you stopping by 3 Minute Ag. Thanks for joining us on 3 Minute Ag. There's a chance you'll see both of us out in your field.